Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, good evening and welcome to our interview series with all 19 aspirants for the flag bearer position of the opposition Sierra Leone People's Party. The party is expected to elect a new leader on the 5th of March 2011, all things being equal. Joseph Igbinda Kapoa is my name. You too can be part of this program by sending your text messages to 088 565 383. 088-565-383. My guest tonight is Major Ismael Koroma. Good evening and welcome to this interview, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Kapoa. It's a pleasure being here. I'm ecstatic being with you guys tonight.
What do we know about Major Ismael Koroma?
Well, I am Ismael Koroma. I was born and raised here in Sierra Leone in the past, in the early years of the 1960s. I emigrated to the United States at an early age, wherein I had to attend the military schools, most of my university colleges out there, for my aspirations, it all started out in the United States of America. So I'm here back in Sierra Leone, my own home, aspiring to be the flag bearer of the Sierra Leone People's Party. And I hope at this point, the critical moment in our lives, in our country, in our party, I hope this will be the defining moment for us all as Sierra Leoneans to see the brighter future, to see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's why I'm here speaking with you, Mr. Kapoa, to tell the world, to tell the people of Sierra Leone, and to tell my party and its delegates that this is a critical time of our political lives.
What is the urge behind, your candidature, to run for the SLPP leadership?
Well, success in any leadership contest is largely dependent on the display of humility backed by the fear of God the Almighty. I will start with that. The Sierra Leone People's Party, which is my party, is built on the solid foundation of justice and fairness and a total rejection of nepotism, tribalism, regionalism, and of course, the chronic disease of corruption. I believe it is my abhorrence of the above-mentioned vices that I've just given to you, and my firm belief that it is only the Sierra Leone People's Party that upholds my cherished principles and the principles of any civilized society that has caused me to aspire to be its flag bearer in the 2012 presidential election on the platform against His Excellency Ismael Koroma in 2012.
Please list the top 5 significant contributions you have made to life in Sierra Leone, probably in the last 5 years.
I have made enormous contributions to this country. As a man that has never held a political office in this country, as a man that has never worked for any institutions, any parastatals in this country, I have done more than you can even think. Let me start. In 1999, I will start with 1999, when Sierra Leone was in the midst of its civil war, wherein the capital, Freetown, was overtaken by the RUF rebels. I was one of the soldiers, a civilian in Sierra Leone, that came and helped to get most of the Sierra Leoneans to safety. And in fact, most of them are in the United States today, living happily with their lives. I have done a business in transportation, providing transportation opportunities for a lot of Sierra Leoneans who have the skill to display in the transportation sphere. In terms of education, most of the law students today that you are seeing, some of the college students that are in final year, preliminary year today, were paid for by Ismael Koroma. And at the time when there was that interregnum in Sierra Leone after Tijan Kaba's government was overthrown by the AFRC, a lot of Sierra Leoneans were stranded in the seas, stranded in areas like Parmalab and other areas in Sierra Leone. I was the man, the civilian, the ordinary Sierra Leonean that gave them a pass to the Republic of Guinea and gave them housing and food for them to survive for that particular period that they were there.
Maybe that is for Sierra Leone, your contributions to life in Sierra Leone. But then you want to lead the Sierra Leone People's Party. What have you done for the SLPP?
Well, the most important contribution a man can make to a party is your total commitment. That's your first and your primary contribution you can do to your party. So I would say at this point that my contribution to the party is my total commitment for the party to gain and hold on to power. But, however, a party cannot succeed without financial input. At this point, I have contributed a lot monetarily, financially, to the Sierra Leone People's Party. This could be evident at the time when we were not even asked to contribute any amount of money or to pay any stipends or anything whatsoever to the Sierra Leone People's Party. I remember, if you can remember, if anyone can see in Kenema at that time in 1999, I stood on the stage and donated 10 million leones to the Sierra Leone People's Party. So that's one of my contributions. And I've moved all over this country, campaigning in different districts, constituencies after constituencies all over this country. And the financial input that I've displayed there, helping SLPP candidates, helping SLPP members all over this country. A man that has never held a political office, never held a parastatal office in this country, doing that, it could be something tremendous to my party.
What specific qualities do you possess or do you bring to the SLPP leadership that probably set you apart from the other candidates?
Well, let me say this. Sierra Leone will soon attain its 50th independence anniversary. One may ask, what has been achieved since 1961? In the course of this period, the Sierra Leone People's Party had been in power for only a total of 17 years. And these years could be referred to as the years of democracy and tolerance in this country. Power, I believe, was wrongfully snatched from the Sierra Leone People's Party in 2007 with the APC attaining the position of power. I often ask myself, why would the Sierra Leone People's Party, which has offered the best deal for this country, allow itself to be unfairly ousted from office? The answer to my mind is the lack of a determined leadership and a well-coordinated campaign fueled by overconfidence. This is the gap that I intend to fill. And the Sierra Leone People's Party has an abundant supply of human resource. If mobilized, can not only win elections, but can develop this country. What the Sierra Leone People's Party lack is a new face. A face that has never been seen before in the political arena, that could convince the electorate that Sierra Leone is at the dawn of a new beginning. With my youthfulness and experiences in the armed forces on an international scale, I will inject fresh ideas into the party in terms of recapturing the young generation, which was not forthcoming in the 2007 elections.
How connected would you say you are to the delegates, and by extension, even the SLPP supporters?
The delegates are fascinated with my candidacy. I was the first to declare in this country in 2008 that I am going to be running for the flag bearership of this party, the Sierra Leone People's Party. At that time, all others were guarded, knowing the vices manifested by the All People's Congress. For the past years that they've been in power, for 30 years, they were guarded. No one could come out and say anything about the SLPP. I was the first to come out in this country. I was the first to come out on the radios in this country and talk about the SLPP, which I believe in. I was the first to go around the country, to go around the constituencies and meet the Sierra Leone People's Party candidates, friends, members, and talk to them about the SLPP and that we should come together. We should not let go our beliefs in this party. Let us regenerate, let us regroup and lead this party to victory in 2012. So I am connected with the delegates. They are really, as I said earlier, fascinated about my candidacy. They are fascinated also about my youthfulness. And I'm going to be the youngest ever in the history of the Sierra Leonean politics to be nominated as a candidate for the Sierra Leone People's Party in 2000.
When you say youngest, what is the age bracket you're talking about?
In 40s, yeah. The early 40s.
All right. Are you still enlisted in the U.S. Army or are you a retired major?
I am enlisted. Well, you can't say enlisted in the American Army. enlisted are different. I am an officer.
An officer?
An officer, yes. Are you? Yeah, I'm an officer.
Are you still one?
Yes. But what I did was I had to take a break. I told them my plight, my vision, and my ambition of leading the Sierra Leone People's Party. The government understands, the Congress understands, the American embassy here understands that I am coming here to lead the greatest party south of the Sahara, the SLPP party. So, irrespective of my affiliations with the U.S. Armed Forces, I am here in my capacity as a Sierra Leonean running for the flag bearership of the Sierra Leone People's Party.
Maybe we'll come to that later, but then you did not join the Sierra Leone army to have the opportunity of defending your country, especially during the war years. Instead, you joined the U.S. Army. How would you defend your level of patriotism, to your country and probably the countrymen?
Well, I attempted to join the armed forces of the Republic of Sierra Leone in the late 1980s. But during the regime of General J.S. Momoh, I was not able to secure a position for cadet training in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which I attribute to my non-inclination to bribe those who are responsible for hiring new recruits. This was the first time that I came in contact with all the vices manifested by the All People's Congress under General J.S. Momoh. I did my best with the help of a Sierra Leonean military colonel called Kauta Dumbuya, who today passed away during the NPRC regime. He worked with me in order to secure a position for my cadet training in Nigeria. He did everything he can, but there was the unfortunate issue of tribalism in this country. And the highest echelon of the APC regime refused to allow me to go into the armed forces of the Republic of Sierra Leone because of tribalism, which I am seeing today in this government of the APC. And this is what made me go back to the United States and thought to myself, I thought very seriously of how and what to do positive for my country to ward off these vices that have already been manifested by the All People's Congress for the past 30 years. So it's not my fault. I attempted to join this great army here. But unfortunately, my tribe and my region did not allow me to join the army because of tribalism from our leaders, our rulers, and our presidents.
What's your impression about the welfare and professionalism of the Sierra Leone army?
That's one thing that is deplorable. The Sierra Leone armed forces, for the past years, have been struggling. And I believe that a leader of this country, a president of this country, should be a battle-tested soldier, as I'm seeing President Ismael Koroma today, in his military fatigue. And I said to myself, yes, the president is wearing the military fatigue. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But he should remember that you wearing the army fatigue is the commander-in-chief and a battle-ready soldier who should not leave the back door open. But guess what? The back door of the Sierra Leone armed forces have been left ajar, not even open, ajar for the past years. The condition of services is poor. Their readiness for foreign training is not up to date. Their living conditions is below standard, below the standard of Second World War II readiness. They sleep in shacks. They sleep in mud houses. Officers in this country, when they go for training in the United States or any other foreign countries, their stipends are not forthcoming. They come to us as military officers, as friends, for us to contribute to their stipends, for them to survive in the foreign countries that they've gone to. It's really sad. And I feel sad for the armed forces of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And I hope someone could come tomorrow, not just to wear a military fatigue to show off as this and that, but someone will come that has the country in his heart, that has the military in his heart. Remember, Mr. Kapua, the military is the backbone of a country's protection. Without them, without their loyalty, a country cannot be proud of its existence. And remember, the United States Armed Forces is proud. The United States of America, the country itself, is proud because of the wittiness, the strongness, the firmness, and the equipness of its armed forces.